It is Tuesday. That means it's Comic News Weekly. We got to talk about a 12,500% increase on a $100 skateboard deck. And if you think that's crazy, wait till you try flipping some comic books. Inappropriate use of money? I don't know. We'll talk about it. Things are only worth what people are willing to pay for them. And on the flip side of that, what could we be doing that's more important with our own money as we support a community member in her time of need, as the community rallies and raises almost $11,000 in 30 hours. Absolutely incredible. And the community is still building and still rallying this. It's Comic News Weekly. Sit back, buckle the hell up, because you're here for some news. That's right. We're back with some news, and we are going to we're going to roll with the fly, unscripted, untalented, unalive. Am I dead? It's almost Halloween season. But we're going to introduce the guest here tonight because we've got a surprise guest for you that you guys haven't seen for some time. We can't wait to get into this. And we've got the comfortable, we've got the friendly, we've got everything everybody needs here tonight. And we will hit up the chat. But let's get into this. The man, the myth, the legend that has taught this community so much over the last few years, last many years, actually. If you don't know him, you should, because he is Beyond Wednesdays. Bryan McClay, what is up, man?
What's up, brother? This is a good night to talk about comic books and collecting, and even better, a little bit of history. It's nice. It's a good show.
The history of this community is one that is long, and man, we're going to need an elephant's brain to capture all of this stuff tonight.
Yeah, it's storied, that's for sure.
Good to have you, man. We will get into this chat a little bit. There is a GoFundMe link that's already up and pinned to the top. I need everybody here watching now to click it and share that. Hashtag KeepJenReading. We will talk about that tonight. But next up, man, I don't know. He's so busy ripping packs, Bryan. I don't think he can make time for us, man.
I know.
He's got that heat. Pulling heat. Man, we just got to get him to grade some cards. What is up, Ryan, man? Have you graded anything yet?
I do need to grade some cards. You have busted me on that deal. I am ready. I'm letting my rip arm or ripping hands rest for the week, because at the end of this week, Mosaic's coming out. And oh yeah, it's going to be legit. I think it's going to be too legit to quit.
How much are hobby boxes?
Don't know yet. I won't know until the day of is when they give me the pricing. But I saw first off the line was like $700.
Wow.
What?
So, yeah. I don't know how much over first off the line is, but
they're usually double or triple.
I thought Star Wars cards were bad.
Hopefully it's around 3 or so. Hopefully,
probably be about 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, I think it come out on Friday, so I'll be doing some ripping for sure on Football Card Quest for sure.
Man, well, last but definitely not least, the man, one of the most historied, the vernacular escapes me, one of the men with the longest history when it comes to the comic book community, the OG, the original Wood. He's just Wood. He's just known as Wood.
Take him out.
And I'm been removed from comics. I feel like I'm the Nick at Night version now, but
good to see you, brother.
Yeah, great to be back, be able to make an appearance. Missed you guys. I've tried to keep in touch. Work's been crazy, family life's been crazy, but yeah, Bryan reached out with some great topics to discuss tonight, and great to be back with the family.
Hell yeah.
Look, we're all complete again.
It's nice to have the old familiar.
I mean, honestly, we were talking about that last week or the week before. Wood, this show has been running for 3 years, 2 years on your channel, if I remember correctly, and then a year over here so far. So this has got quite the backlog of content that we could probably look back on it and smile.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, and always great community in the chat. It's great to see familiar faces and new faces and make new friends. And so, yeah, good times, especially with, like you said, spooky season starting, getting ready to get into holiday season, not comic related. I recently bought a Traeger smoker, and I've been like cooking all types.
I saw
of
the
shit.
chili, bro.
Yeah, chili. I'm like, dude, I'm like making cereal out there. I throw cereal out there on the smoker just to fucking use that.
So
shit.
my father-in-law just gave one of those to me, and I just cooked with it for the first time actually on Monday. I've had it for probably about a month, but yeah, it takes a while to get used to for sure.
It's
You
a grown
bougie-
man's easy bake oven, that's for
You
sure.
bougie gentleman down here with the Traegers, like, dude, cream cheese, smoke a block of cream cheese, and then whip it up with fresh jalapenos, dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's got
Look
the
at
post.
this.
He's got the post right here.
Oh,
Look at that, dude. Look how good that looks.
Yeah, the chili was better than the Seminoles football game.
Look at that.
Sounds just like a Lions fan. The food's always better than the game.
So
Dude,
you bean
chili
or no
season.
bean?
Oh, he's got beans in there.
Okay, bean.
I'm a no bean guy, but my wife wanted some, so I put a can of beans in.
McClay, you bean or no bean?
I'm down for whatever, man. Chili is I'll eat any type of chili. Chili is one of the greatest things ever invented. And the only thing about chili though, you have to wait until it cools down
Yep.
to start eating chili.
You don't want to
You
eat
can't do it
scalding.
when it's hot. Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
better after it sits in the fridge for a day or two and you reheat it up. It's like spaghetti almost.
Yeah, I took some
Yeah.
into the office on Monday, and they were eating it all up. And they're like, "You got to give me this. What'd you put in?" I was like, "Really, all I did was read a recipe, and it's from meatchurch.com's recipe."
Oh yeah, awesome website,
Bro, that looks
Well, Andy,
amazing.
do you like bean or no bean?
dude. Michigan here, it's 3-bean chili. We go 3-bean style here in Michigan. You know, the chili beans, the red kidney beans, and the black beans, and either we do venison or we'll do regular beef. But dude, there's nothing better than venison heart. Seriously,
You ground it up.
No, I cube it up into 1/2-inch cubes and I braise it in the chili for about 4 hours.
Yeah.
Dude,
what do you put in this, Wood?
So it's 2 pounds of ground beef, a pound of hot Jimmy Dean sausage, and a pound of chuck roast, and then some chipotle peppers and adobo sauce cut up, and then a 28-ounce can of diced tomatoes, 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, and a onion, and then just put it all in that pot, that Dutch oven, and let it simmer for about 6 hours.
So are you like writing a book or what? Because I mean, you have every ingredient to the T there.
That looks
I just
so
remember
good.
it was easy because I didn't remember when I was walking around the damn grocery store like all over the place looking for shit. But
I would usually just get a recipe to kind of base things to kind of base off of, and then from there I'll grow my food from there. So speaking of food, so Bryan, if you had one thing? Sorry, derail, but if you had
You're totally off the rails now.
what would be one of your specialties that you're known for or like to cook or you think you do good?
me, I love pulled pork, Carolina style pulled pork.
You make you cook, and people and everyone thinks you're like, Bryan's pulled pork is the best.
Well, I felt bad because my buddy came over for the Florida State LSU game, and I made pulled pork, and his wife was sitting there telling him like, "This is way better than what you make at home."
Oh man.
I was like, "Damn!" I was like, "I'll put some in a bowl for you guys to take back." But
Is Carolina style sweet or
it's the spicy vinegar.
Okay. I like sweet barbecue sauce.
Or
Like,
Eastern Carolina, I guess you could say, because
Yeah.
people in North Carolina are gonna.
I don't like barbecue. I'm not a big barbecue fan at all.
You live in Texas. Oh my god.
I know. I don't like barbecue. I don't like country music. I don't like none of that stuff. I'm born in the wrong state.
You know what we do like, Ryan?
What?
We love it. You know what we do like, Ryan?
What's that?
We love it when the community bands together. And we're gonna get back on the rails here again really quick.
Yeah,
because
sorry,
we
I
want to
took us way off topic.
we're here to talk
It's
about
this guy's flaw right over here. New guy, the new guy.
Spiffy. I don't mean to say spiffy. God, a specific community member here, and everybody knows comics will break your heart. Jen, hashtag KeepJenReading, recently was diagnosed with a form of cancer, and then one of her friends, I believe, created this GoFundMe, and the community has really banded together, and in less than 30 hours, like somewhere between 24 and 30 hours, the community's banded together and put together almost $11,000. And we're talking about this so that everybody here tonight can click the link that is tagged at the very top of the chat and share this link for the GoFundMe so everybody can read the story and everybody can share the link. And if you can donate, please donate tonight. Every little bit helps because we want to hashtag KeepJenReading. And if you are part of the comic book community and you scroll through Instagram or TikTok or IG Reels, you're seeing this on pretty much everybody's feeds. As of lately, everybody's sharing that message. So continue help propelling the message forward, because the hardest part for a campaign like this is on the tail end. Everybody gets the information right away. The people that can donate at that time will donate. But then when people can donate later, the people have stopped talking about it. So we're going to talk about this regularly throughout this week, next week, and into the next month or so as we continue to talk about what's going on with Comics Curing Cancer as well. That event's coming up October 20th to the 22nd, and that's going to be a big YouTube Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's a whole telethon that's going to be going on. We're going to be hosting a show over here on this channel on that Saturday. But yeah, hashtag KeepJenReading. For those of you that don't know Jen personally, she's had been a part of the YouTube comic book community for a very long time and has her own YouTube channel and her own content over there. And you can also follow her at Comics Will Break Your Heart on Instagram and other social media platforms there. And just reach out and donate. Share the message. Anybody that can donate, please donate. It's for a good cause. It's for a community member that we know that's near and dear to everybody here in the community. Because, yes, absolutely. Hashtag KeepJenReading. If you guys want to butt in with a personal story that you know of Jen, please do. Otherwise, we will bring that back up towards the end of the show. That's going to be obviously my one more thing for the week. But then if you guys looked at the thumbnail a little bit, there's a bit of a duality here, right? There is a campaign for Jen, but then there's also a 12,500% increase in a $100 skateboard on eBay. And we really want the duality of how we utilize money for the better of others and how we utilize money to better ourselves is kind of where my head is at this evening, and kind of where I wanted to hear some from you guys, because if we thought flipping comic books was bad, this is a $100 blind grab bag that Santa Cruz started, right, McClay?
Yeah. This is a $100 grab bag that they put out on September 13th, I believe. It sold out immediately. Absolutely amazing idea. They've been doing this for a while in skate decks. I remember in San Diego this year, we stopped by the Skybound booth, me and Leg bought 2 of the Walking Dead skate decks. I know Leg and SimpleMan, Bryan Wood, have both purchased the Garbage Pail Kid skate decks in the past and the He-Man skate decks. We were talking about it before the show. This has always been a very collectible thing. A lot of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s, skating is like super nostalgia for us. It really blew up during that time. I remember there was a skate shop right next to our little arcade, our little Nickel Palace down the road. There was a movie theater, a skate shop called Bear Cover, and a Nickel Palace arcade. And we would spend hours up there. I mean, it was, a bike ride away, like a little 5-minute bike ride. And we would go in there, and at the time we were young kids, so we couldn't skate really well. But I remember collecting little fingerboards and buying different grip tape and different fingerboards. And
I was rocking my Veriflex board for a good while until I could save up money.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Like, I remember making fun of people with those old school, what the little banana decks, the little banana boards, because that was like all people had until the whole skate thing blew up, right? Absolutely blew up. And then it blew up a second time with Tony Hawk in the 90s. So it's very nostalgia for a lot of people. On top, a lot of people still skate. Skating has become a big thing. I know I have a lot of friends.
It's the original parkour.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I have a lot of friends that still longboard daily. And I mean, not many of my friends who are, my age that I grew up with are out there, doing kick flips and ollieing and shit. But there's a lot of people that love to skate and love to collect that grew up on Pokemon and that type of stuff. And Pokemon is beyond collectible right now, obviously. So it was a great move. And to have the variants, so now you have people buying multiple packs. To have it like a pack of cards is even better. This was just a great idea by Santa Cruz, one of the all-time great, not only skate companies, but just visual graphics. Anytime I see the Santa Cruz logo or the screaming hand, I instantly just I get taken back to the 80s and 90s, man.
How much do you want to bet somebody saw this on Whatnot or the blind bag stuff the comic book community was doing for a while there, and then started implementing a plan for this? Because, like you said, it's genius. Skateboarding is already big, right? How do you make it go viral? Well, you do the Willy Wonka trick, right? And throw a golden ticket in there somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. The golden ticket. That's a great way to put it. And if you watch people open these up, it's super cool because it's, you can see it right there. It comes in the silver package, and then you open it up. It's in like the little orange package. So you got to open that up. It's just, the whole thing is awesome to me.
Suspense.
Yes.
You're like me. You like these little, like, kind of, not gimmicks, but like little things like this. I love stuff like this.
Yeah.
That's why I like Bad Idea so much.
Yeah.
It blows my mind, though, because we looked this up before the show. A standard Santa Cruz Pro deck goes for like $90 some odd, $90 to $100, I think. Now, I only looked up a couple, so somebody put me in my place if I am wrong with that in the comments below or in the live chat. That's fair. I only looked up a handful of them. So $100 deck, right? And this was a $100 grab bag. And things are only worth what people are going to pay, but this is 12,500% increase, essentially, right? If I'm doing the math off the top of my head really quickly. We thought flipping comic books got crazy. That's massive. $100 blind. People were buying these hand over fist as many as they could. There's no information on how many they made total. The gold boards are limited to 50 per character. So there's 250 gold boards out there in the world, and that's not a lot in the world of skating, right?
No. Decks are expensive now. Decks have always been expensive. Like Wood was just saying, like you had to save up to get a deck, and sometimes you would get a deck and break it in the first, week or something crazy, and it would destroy you. There was a lot of times where, people were breaking multiple decks that they had just paid a lot of money for. So, yeah, man, they've always been expensive, especially for people that are, young skaters.
Yeah.
So I kind of wondered, has 20 bids on it. Oh, yeah, I'm not logged in. And now because I did that, there we go. All right. There's 20 bids. And if you go to your eBay and you search this, you'll find that there are 6 bidders between those 20 bids. So I don't know if this is like a shill bidding situation where somebody is doing that. But that being said, there's already another one down here that has no bids on it yet. That's at 6,500. But there's another one hidden in here on eBay, if I can find it. And I wish I had the link right away, but there's another gold board up on eBay that has like 46 bids on it, and it's up to like 5,000. So like,
well, this is the Charizard one. There's 50 of each gold deck, and there's 5 gold decks. So there's only 50 of the Charizard. There's only 50 of each, obviously, but there's a total of 250 gold decks total between the 5 different characters.
Let me grab their website here and bring that up too.
Yeah,
I didn't find it on the regular website at first. So I had to actually search it separately.
Yeah, and the Garbage Pail Kids ones are super badass too. So if you guys have never seen the Garbage Pail Kids ones, I suggest you take a look at them if you're a Garbage Pail Kid fan, especially the Atom Bomb ones.
Have they ever done a Transformers? Come on now.
I'm sure there's been skate decks for all kinds of stuff, but Santa Cruz is, the key to this one to me.
So they did this blind bag release here in the United States, and I'm just noticing now that they've got shop online in United Kingdom and in Canada and other places. You know how many people that didn't have access to this blind bag grab are bidding on these on eBay? I bet you overseas.
Oh yeah. Well, it was worldwide, so anybody in the world could have got them.
Okay, so it wasn't just like a shop release or something like that.
No. If you were in New Zealand, or you would click that one, or if you were in Australia, you'd click that one. They had them set up for each.
Okay. So it's like when they release computer parts and you try to race everybody. The sealed blind bag contains one 8-inch randomly assorted variant skateboard featuring an iconic Pokemon character. This includes 15 hollow foil variants featuring a different character printed over silver prismatic rainbow glitter foil and silver metallic paint. Hello, 90s comic books. It's got that 28 to 35 to maybe even 40-year-old skater, the collectible nature of us in the 90s and early 2000s, man. Plus 5 special gold foil edition variants featuring black and metallic gold ink over metallic gold foil. That's about all the information they provide on them.
Yeah.
So there's no You know how they give you the hit chances on card packs, like 1 in 500 or 1 in something? They don't offer that. They don't kind of lead into how many decks for this run has been created. So I don't know, man. What's stopping them from making a handful more and putting them in other bags? I don't know.
Yeah. That's a great question.
Or maybe they're numbered.
I don't know if they're numbered, but people have some companies have integrity. We don't realize that in the comic book world, especially in the comic book speculation world. There's not a lot of integrity in this world of comic books, but some companies do have integrity. And I think that if Santa Cruz was to go and reprint these, their fans would definitely let them know. I'm sure they realize how important it is to.
Or they would probably go do a different volume or a different series or something like that. Keep it Pokemon related, but keep it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
Did they do Magic the Gathering decks?
No.
I don't even skate, and I'll buy a Magic the Gathering deck to hang in the dojo down here. Seriously.
Yeah, dude. And skate decks look great hanging on walls, man. They look amazing.
You remember in the 80s making bookshelves out of decks you don't use anymore?
Yeah.
I used to do that. I skated a little bit as a kid, not a lot. It was just because that was the cool thing for everybody in the 80s, like growing up as a kid. Yeah. What did you skate?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about before. Like, I wasn't like heavy. That I didn't do much more than being able to ollie over a couple soda cans and shit like that. That was the height of. And being able to drop it in on a half pipe and just go back and forth. But
I mean, dropping into a half pipe, that's legit right there.
I wore a Vision Streetwear t-shirt and saved up for my Rob Scott board, and it was a good time. Plus, I lived in Germany in the 80s, so it was a little bit different. Everything caught on a little bit later over there, but they did have a skate park, and it was the first time where I grabbed the cup and thought it was my friend's drink and drank a bunch of fucking cigarette butts. But yeah, and I did Element. They didn't do blind bags, but Element teamed up with Super 7 a year or two ago, and they had messaging. There were sports.
Oh, dude!
I put the link to it in the.
I'm pulling it up right now. This is magical.
So I'd order a couple of those decks,
dude.
Oh yeah, the Super 7 Element and Super 7 ones. Yep. Yeah, what a great idea, dude.
Nikes. Come on, picture load. Oh, it's not pulling up the picture.
Yeah, they had decks and then they had some apparel too, but I didn't get to buy up all of them. I think I bought 2 of them. I got the Castle Grayskull and the Skeletor, of course.
The Skeletor one's the coolest one, man, in my opinion. Grayskull ones too.
Airwalk ones. I remember those. I used to draw like the Rat Bones logo on all my fucking school textbooks.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Super 7 has a really cool Bones Brigade action figure set. It's all the Bones Brigade members, and they have little action figures of them that they just put out. They announced it recently. So if anybody's into those Super 7 figures, be on the lookout for them. It's cool stuff, man.
That's legit. Let me hit up the chat again really quick because I didn't even introduce them to begin with, but lots of killer people hanging out as always. GTK Comic. There you go, Wood. Your favorite picture on the interwebs, right?
Heck yeah, best avatar ever.
There it is. Avatar. I couldn't remember. Mark, hashtag We Are Legion.
2. I hope it never changes it. That's like iconic now.
Yeah, I know. It's like
that's like branding.
It sticks. Shadow, what's going on, man? We got Beyond when Bryan's here hanging out. Scott, what's up, guys? Hey, guys. Good to see you, Scott. I love Scott bantering in the chat every week. Wheelchair
Tony
Superhero.
Fix is in there.
Tony Fix is in here. What is up, brother? We got to have Tony back on again one of these days. Yep. Man, can you imagine Tony's feelings about a 12,000 to 13,000% increase on a flip for a board? Three Rivers Comics.
Just like the rest of us, we all wish it was us that was making that flip. I want to know if anybody out there would keep their board if they got a gold one.
I don't think so.
I would.
I don't like Pokemon.
Yeah, it would be gone like that. Even if I like Pokemon, dude. To buy a board for $100 and then sell it for 12 grand? Are you kidding me?
Dude, the guy in the Santa Cruz video couldn't even name the Pokemon on the board when he unboxed it and opened it. And I'm like, I know that's the like Blastos or something like that. At least I have an inkling. The guy running the video didn't even educate himself on the characters before he opened it. I'm like, oh my God. I just thought that was hilarious.
AOA cracks me up, man, all the time.
Louis,
Love
what's up,
AOA.
There you
brother?
go.
Oh yeah.
The Santa Cruz flip.
I remember when I was young into skating, I didn't realize that those boards were like actual skaters, like Rob
Yeah.
Scott, Pail Peralta,
Yeah.
all that. At the time, I was like, I need that board. That board looks cool. And I was like, oh, that's an actual person.
Yeah.
I was struggling to come up with a name for tonight's episode because I mean, we want to talk about cool comic book stuff, right? We want to talk about things that impact the comic book community, but also there are these offshoots like this deck and this board going viral and these prices going up. They're very relatable to the community. And then when there's a community member in need and kind of that duality of somebody's paying $12,000 for a $100 skateboard, and there's somebody over here that's is in need of assistance, and the community rallying together in less than 30 hours to come up with almost $11,000. Again, that link is listed. It's posted right to the top. Well, I'll bring it up again, and then I'll hit up the chat again one more time. Is if I have the right window, I have the right window. There we go. Because I didn't get it. I didn't pull it down. There we are. Hashtag KeepJenReading. There it is. And I will make it. All you got to do is hit the share, just like that. Hit the share, hit copy, and then we go down here. And for all the other platforms watching on Twitch and on Facebook, there's the GoFundMe link. Please click it and please share it around all of the social medias as well. And if you're a content creator, take 30 seconds to 60 seconds to create a reel, create a TikTok video, create a YouTube short, and to share the message out, because everybody that creates content might have a slightly different viewership that can help share the message. And if the community continues to band together, we'll have this goal blown out of the water and see if we can get past that in a week or less. That's all good things right there for Jen.
Amen. Amen. Positive thoughts and prayers out to them.
Absolutely.
Fuck cancer.
Hashtag fuck cancer for sure. I know I have an uncle right now that's battling cancer, and I lost my father to cancer. So that's it hits close to home for a lot of us. AOA still in the chat. Go ahead, Bryan.
There's not a single person out there that hasn't been affected in some way by cancer, whether getting it or losing somebody they love. It's the worst there is, man. That's for sure. So
that's true. Bryce Comics will release a Radis deck. Man, good to see you, Tony. I'm happy to see him stop by. Kenneth stopping by, hanging out, saying hi to everybody. Who else we got in here? Daymares. Jason Lee Airwalks. Ooh, I used to rock Airwalks constantly.
Yeah. That's about all I wore for a long time, dude.
You know what else?
Those and Vans.
You know what else?
I mean,
you know what? I can't talk to
Go
you.
ahead.
No, go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say those, you always go and get the same pair. You buy a couple extra pairs of them, and you don't have to wear them out that fast. But shoes are too expensive these days. Yeah, the classic Jeff Rowley ones. Hell yeah, man.
That's why I just rock some Hey Dudes.
And some Caballeros. Yeah.
Hey Dudes.
I just rock Crocs, really. But
yeah,
Crocs. You really wear Crocs? I've never wore Crocs.
Crocs socks.
Dude, I tell you, yeah, hell, it's the most. Once you break them in and had them for a year or so, and you wear the comfiest, softest socks with them, you'll never go back, man. Saturday brunch out in public, who cares? Rocking Crocs.
Rocking Crocs.
The classic slip-ons were it as a kid, man.
Yes, hit that
Slides.
share button. Hit that like and hit that share button for that GoFundMe link. But you know what else I've been rocking for a really long time? Watching Hot 10 lists on the YouTubes.
On the YouTubes.
Yeah,
since before the YouTubes. This is a little surprise topic that came up tonight as Wood wanted to pop in and say hi. And Bryan and Ryan, the law firms of Bryan and Ryan are going to share some more on this, because I'm looking for a little bit of education, because this week, Bryan, I had to ask myself, what happened? Like, we all know the Lords of the Long Box has been working with GoCollect for a long time. Legit, super legit channel, super legit guys. We love
Cover Price,
what they bring with Cover Price. Did I say GoCollect? I meant Cover Price.
Yep.
We've been watching Lords of the Long Box for a long time. So with their original channel, and then they had to remake the channel. And the only thing I've been watching longer than that was the Ben Stein Hot 10 list.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way before it was on YouTube.
Yeah. I I love this streaming and podcasting and doing this. It's become the hobby that I love. It's taken the place of going to the comic shop every Wednesday for me, and this is what I enjoy doing. And I got the reason why I got into it is because of guys like Brian Wood. I mean, early Flipside days, I came on to just hang out and come on as a guest. They had a little guest thing, and we clicked well. And then the next thing I know, I'm podcasting comic books, talking about comic books. And Brian Wood is one of the guys that always we would always talk in the background about creating content and how to make content better. And SimpleMan's comics was always like the thing that we always tried to be. He was always pushing the envelope, making it look the best, having it sound the best content. And this last couple of weeks, with the whole Hot 10 stuff that's kind of blown up behind the scenes, I thought it would be amazing just to go through the history of where this all came from. And I tried to do my best to kind of break it down on my channel on Saturday night's episode. But, I figured what better to bring somebody in that knows the history better than me, because he was like part of creating all this back in the day when it all started. And that's Brian Wood. And I figured we could come in here and kind of talk a little bit about it, because I don't think you've ever really kind of gone through the whole history of not only you, but like, creating this content, because we all come from the same place. It feels like.
Yeah.
I mean,
And there's what, 4? There's 4 now.
Yeah.
Like there's a starting focal point is what Brian's getting at, Wood, and that's where it all starts with you, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I mean, that at the time, that was more fun when it was really a lot of fun and new to me. And not only just the video stuff was new, but getting into doing videos and creating content and learning, like you said, learning different things. I spent more times watching YouTube videos about how to create a YouTube channel than
Yes.
content at the time, which was great. And at the time also, there was a huge gap in that niche. Everything was still website or Google Communities, or and that's where, when we were on CBSI, that's the big thing of Google Community. Was it Communities, or I forget what it was even
Google
called?
Hangout.
Google Hangouts and Google Plus.
Google Plus.
That's
Yeah.
it.
And then we just started making video content of that. And then CBSI had the website.
How did
then,
you
of
get
course-
involved with CBSI? Because you I remember you very early on when a lot of people might not realize this. Wood created the intro for the Unpressable Defects podcast back in the day, man.
Yeah.
And that's what I remember.
That was good times too. And
Yeah.
Google Plus days, and we were all in there, and everything was on the webs. I guess you could say it was Comic 4chan, but
Yes.
Interwebs.
and then from there it went to, they created the CBSI website with Inigo and Trey. And then to be honest, credit where credit's due, that Hot 10 kind of came out of Trey's mindset of that old Wizard World. And they started publishing it there. And then we started noticing also that the video content niche was lacking. So I was doing Wednesday picks at the time. And again, to give credit where credit is due, Comic Tom saw that need, feel the need. He was the first one to take that Hot 10 list and make a video out of it.
How did that happen? That's one of my big questions. Because you and Jack were doing SimpleMans together. Well, you were starting SimpleMans at that time, and Jack was just a writer. Was Jack just writing for the CBSI page?
Yeah, he was on the CBSI page, and we started bringing him in to do some couple like podcast long form content, and then just came to a partnership on the channel. And like I said, I'm all credit where credit is due. Tom saw that need. He started doing it on his own. Jack saw that he was doing it on his own and was like, hey, it's better to bring him into the fold. And that's when Jack was talking with Ben at CBSI. And that's when they formed that partnership of like, hey, why don't you, instead of you doing it a day late, they worked behind the scenes where he'd get the list at midnight and Comic Tom would do the Hot 10. And that's where that originally started for that video form content of the Hot 10
and
list.
that was Stein. So Stein was writing the Hot 10 list, and then Jack was taking the Hot 10 list and giving it to Tom
I don't know if Jack was or if
Okay.
Stein was dropping it in a Dropbox. I just know
Uh-huh.
that he was getting it around midnight Eastern, and then Tom was filming his content, and it was hitting like shortly after.
And it
Sorry,
blew
I'm
up,
getting old
man.
in my old age. I don't take my ginkgo, but that's the Cliff Notes version
Go
of it.
Barilla.
Yeah.
And then that was going on for a while, and then that business relationship kind of, I won't say deteriorated, but ended, and there was a gap.
Ran its
So for a
course.
short time, we were doing the Hot 10 on SimpleMan's comics, right?
Yes.
A good year.
I wasn't comfortable with it because I don't like, nothing against Stein, but the way the list was created and everything, we were recording like Wednesday picks, and then Thursday content. That's when I was like pre-recording a bunch of videos, and we get done filming the Bolo show and sitting there. That sounds bad, but waiting around for the list.
Yeah.
By like midnight. And I was like, bro, I gotta go to bed. I gotta work in the morning. So it just didn't work. And then I told Ben, I was like, I can't do this Hot 10 because it's not working for me. I can't film it. I can't record it. I can't put the quality into it afterwards with the editing. And at that point, he's like, well, who's going to do it? And that's when Tales from the Flip Side was also a partner channel. So it went from us over to Tales from the Flip Side.
Well,
Tales from the Flip Side did it.
You recommended, I remember you recommended Stein. You're like, let Stein do it himself. Like it's his list. Let him do it himself.
Yeah. And at the time, and no disrespect to Stein wasn't doing a lot of, he was doing Flip Side, but he wasn't doing like everyone else. As we get older, you have other priorities, you have family life. So he didn't want to overcommit himself too. But since then, went to Flip Side. It's Stein, like Trey might have started it, but Stein is the one that put the ownership on it and has done it for how many years now?
7 years. 7
8?
years.
Oh, I thought it was 8.
7 years. Yeah. No, he said 7 years. And I talked about the history of all of this, and the reason why I think it's so important to explain is because a lot of people don't know all this stuff. They don't know the backstories about everything that went on. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this stuff about Comic Tom. And you're right. Like Comic Tom, no matter what you think of the guy, I don't care. I think Comic Tom is a cool dude. He seems like a very, very interesting dude. I've never had a problem with him, but he is a smart dude. He's thinking in business plan man terms, and he's very smart. And he ran with that as like his main thing, and just blew up. And it was absolutely cool to see. I remember at the time just thinking how cool it was. And then all the stuff that happened after, it turned into the reason why I really wanted to talk about this was because for me, once it turned into like this huge drama thing. It became this thing behind the scenes where nobody, Mellow Fellow couldn't get along with anybody. I mean, couldn't get along with Tom. He couldn't get along with Bolo. He couldn't get along with you. And I wish I would have seen that at the time because it would have saved me a little bit of heartache. But sometimes you have to learn by getting burnt, right?
Yeah.
And
we didn't. I mean, to be fair, like Ben and I got along great until the point of where I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go do my own thing." And I wouldn't even say that we didn't get along after the fact. It's just it wasn't. There was the disconnect at that point.
Yeah. I think the disconnect is there's and I'm not saying that this is the way it is. This is just what my opinion is, or what I'm thinking. There's certain people out there that they, for whatever reason, they don't believe in themselves enough to where they think that everybody's out to get them. And for some reason, that's the way that my relationship has always been with him, is that it was always like somebody was out to get him. And as soon as Wood said, hey, why don't you let Stein do it? And we were doing great at Flipside. Wood was always helping us over at me, especially me over at Flipside, learning how to create better content, how to produce better, how to, do better stuff. And as soon as, Wood was like, I think Stein should do it. And me and Stein talked, and we're like, okay, yeah, let's do it Friday nights. Man, it was awesome. And it was great at first, exactly like you're saying. Like, I thought that we were everybody was friends, this and that. And then slowly you just start seeing this. And it got to a point with us to where we couldn't even mention SimpleMan's or Bolo anymore, or we couldn't bring Bolo's thing up on the screen without being told, if you guys do that anymore, I'm going to pull the CBSI name away from you guys, and I'm going to blow up the bridge and this and that. And that has gone everywhere with the Hot 10 list. I feel like the Hot 10 list has been such a great thing. Stein has put all this effort into it, but there's always this drama behind it that people never really knew about. They didn't know what was going on.
I mean, and it's funny because that list, I mean, there's drama behind the creation of the list. There's drama behind the content that the list made. I mean, I remember years back, I think I even have clips saved in Google Drive where Stein basically had to explain how he created the list, because I think that's just naturally going to occur within the niche because of content creators wanting to be content creators. Everyone knows top 10 lists sorry, I've been disconnected for a while, but if you put top 10 whatever in a title, you're hitting the YouTube algorithm.
Yep.
And to be honest, that's why we shifted when we were doing the top 10. Jack and I, we shifted to, hey, we can't do top 10 current. Let's do a top 10 back issues to be on the lookout for.
Yeah.
Or undervalued, or, and that created great content for us. In fact, if you were to look at some of my most viewed videos, I think out of 10 of them, probably 6 or 7 are those top 10 back issues videos. So
my favorite one y'all did was the FOC show. Yep. Man, that was perfect.
That was another drama for your mama. Yeah.
And it was fun. And to be honest, it's funny because I've taken what I've learned from this hobby and I've used it towards my work. I work in cybersecurity for the government, and I've created training videos for my work for some of the stuff there, because they're like, hey, we need training videos. And I did 1 or 2, and then they're like, hey, we want you to do more. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to we can 1099 that, and we can talk about that.
It's a lot of work. There's so much work being put into creating this content. And the main reason why I really wanted to have this conversation is because a lot of people are asking, just like what Keith playing some cover tunes is asking, what are the different lists? And that's the other thing. Like, there's so many different Hot 10 lists out there. There is the key collectors list, right? That key collector does, which now Tom goes over. That's that instead of Stein's list, he's using the key collector list for his Hot 10 stuff. There is the cover price list, which what Andy said, Lords of the Long Box do a great job of presenting the cover price list on YouTube. And then there was the Hot 10 by Stein, that for 7 years has been either done by Comic Tom in the beginning, SimpleMan's, and Flipside, and now House of Stein. So it seems like there's 4 main like Hot 10 lists that are out there that most people go by now. Whereas back in the day, the main list came from this right here. I mean, it's funny because if you look at the graphics for the Hot 10 list, it's the same graphics that everybody uses because of how important. I mean, you just look at that, and
that was like the Beckett of comics back in the day.
Yes.
Well, I mean, that's where the idea originated from. Back in the Hangout days, people flipping through Wizard books, like, why don't we do this? Why don't we look at this and base it off of actual sales data? Because now we have eBay to draw from. Not only eBay, but I think there may have been something else back then. But eBay being where it retains a lot of that, and you can look it up. But that's where, when you guys presented this idea, I thought this was fantastic to talk about tonight, because me, as a person in the community that does create content, who's been watching everything, has been a part of it and a part of that history, my brain's kind of fried at how many different things, and it's not bad. I think the more that's going on, the more content that's out there for the vast palette of collectors that's out there. I'm just starting to realize I'm getting like Wood, where I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm like, I'm like, what's going on? So I'm glad that you guys are here clearing this up. And there's a really good question in here that we can touch base on too, is Three Rivers says, I'm glad you explained the history. I was not aware that most of the content creators I watch are all colleagues. In fact,
Yes.
all of the largest comic-based YouTube channels, well, let me rephrase that, besides Comic Historian and a couple of Comics Explained and some of the other ones, the bulk of the community that out there that have larger channels all originated from the Google Hangout days.
Yes.
Bryan, McClay, Brian Wood, a lot of the people that I came into the community and started watching and looking up to, and especially like Brian's content of how to start a YouTube channel.
Yeah. Mellow Fellow, the guy who ended up buying the CBSI website, came from that. Trey, who created CBSI, came from that. Big Leg, Wood, me, Ben Stein, Matt DeVoe, who was cover price, Dino, John Z, Mel V, Ultra,
Peter Renna.
Been
writing for a long time.
Old school Paul Wiederhold.
Old Paul W. Like there's so many shows that have been birthed through that, and that's why I call it the beginning of the second speculator boom, right? Because I think the second speculator boom was kind of pushed like a push start by CBSI G Plus days, and then the CBSI webpage and finding those books, everybody telling those books, here are the books that are hot that you can make money flipping and this and that. It's been very interesting, and we've all grown, and we all know each other behind the scenes too, which is why I think that I felt like it was so disrespectful. Everybody keeps asking me, like, why am I saying all this? Why am I talking about this? It's pure and honest respect. It is respect. It's always been about respect and transparency to me. The people that I consider like my friends and my allies have always, it's always about being respectful in turn, right? And there was just so much disrespect through the years coming from and when I say CBSI now, I mean Mellow Fellow. There's been so much disrespect through the years coming there to see it turn into this, and it feels like it's happening out of pure disrespect. And I don't want anybody to ever think when I talk bad about CBSI that I'm talking bad about the writers or any of that stuff, because that's where we all come from, and there's so much respect for all those people that were doing that. And here's the other thing. Nobody's ever been paid for that, I think, right? I mean, Wood, were you ever paid for any of the CBSI stuff that you did?
No.
Stein never paid for it.
Fun. It was us growing our own community.
Yep, exactly. And that's what it was until it felt like that community was being held over our heads. If we didn't say what Mellow Fellow wanted or do what Mellow Fellow wanted, there was always this threat of, I'm going to blow up the bridge. I'm going to burn the bridge and this and that. And that, same with the ultimatum. Either you get rid of this guy or you can't do the list anymore. Either you get, and I'm sure Bryan had those things too. I'm sure that, when Mellow Fellow and Bolo were having their thing, there was constant that type of thing where it was either you get rid of Bolo or you can't talk, you can't be part of CBSI. That's not cool.
Yeah. There was internal conversations. I won't get into too much of that, but it wasn't ever like that. It wasn't to that level.
I don't mean to put words in your mouth. I apologize for that.
No, and you're fine. The biggest thing at our point also is we realized there wasn't much video content there, and we're like, hey, video is the way to go. And I do remember having the conversation where we were our video is only related to like 4% of the website clicks, and I was like, that's not what we're talking about. That's not translating the marketing, the intangible marketing that we're doing by having videos that take you back to the website. So but I don't have that's the past, that's behind me. I'll be honest, that's part of the reason why I kind of got out of some of this is just when it's no longer fun and then there's a lot of drama, it just kind of rains on the whole thing. And so I empathize with what you guys are going through. And at the same time, I feel good that, hey, although I miss a lot of people in the community, I don't miss and I don't even want to call it stress, but just it was stress, having to deal or answer questions or answer comments. And I'm like, bro, and if you sit there and say, oh, it doesn't matter to me, then it's like, whoa, this doesn't, So yeah.
Well, I think that's important to talk about too, is that, we put a lot of effort into creating this content, and it's our babies, right? And I mean, when you've been doing it for so long, I couldn't imagine what Stein's going through after 7 years. This is his baby. After 7 years, this is his baby. And same with our channels. We put a lot of effort into these channels. I still look back towards the fun times at CBSI and the fun times at creating content, and with a warm feeling in my stomach. But I also look back at it like, man, it sucks that a lot of this we have to either walk away from, or that. Yeah, there we go. Looking forward to a Hot 10 show of stories about CBSI.
That will involve some alcohol.
Yeah, lots of it.
I will say this, and I'm not as close to the situation as you. I know Stein in the history that we've had, but I do recognize the situation. I do recognize the work that's been put in. I do recognize the gut punch that he probably feels from, if it's what, like you said, if it was, hey, wasn't really told, it just kind of flipped over. But I would also try not to be a cup is half full, but that's an exodus, man. There's an exodus there that you can take that list, you could take that, and there's collaboration opportunities with a bunch of other people. So you don't also, hey, yeah, it's kind of a breakup, but now you have so many different opportunities and that content that you can take somewhere else.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that I'm just so angry at all this that I'm just trying to say, hey, this is just to show people this is what it is, and Stein doesn't want any part of this, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, hey man, I apologize if I put you on Front Street, but I just want the what is the truth as far as I know it to be known.
Yeah, I'll tell you won't find a person with as much integrity as Ben Stein probably has.
No, and that's why it hurts so much. That is 100% why it hurts. I don't mind. I do mind when people are talking shit about me, but I don't mind as much. But when people are disrespectful to people that I care about, that's when I get
that's when it crosses the line.
Yeah, exactly. That's when it crosses the line. But also, I take what Wood says. At some point you can't just sit here and cry about this and get angry about this too long. So at some point it's going to be like everything else, and there's a new story on the horizon. But it's nice to let people know, hey, if you want to know the history of it, this is the history of it. This is how everything went down. I remember one of the things that Nico used to always say that, I used to laugh at, but it's funny. He used to always go, there's going to be a documentary written about all this drama one day. You know what I mean?
This is a perfect example of why we're getting together and talking about this. Is Keith here says, why am I confused? I thought House of Stein is Ben Stein's show. What am I missing?
It is Ben Stein's show, but it's based on, so a lot of people might not know this. It's based on the CBSI Hot 10 list that Stein has been writing for 7 years now, right? And it started off as a list on the CBSI website, and Stein will still be doing his show, but he won't be doing the CBSI list anymore. And the disrespectful thing to me has always been and will always be the fact that Rhynovision went and created a show called the same thing, has the same layout, everything, the same, everything is the exact same as Stein's show an hour before Stein's show on Friday night. That's the disrespectful thing. And
that's ridiculous.
Yeah. So in all reality, Stein's gonna come out this on the other side. But
yeah, because everyone else sees that, knows what's going on. As transparent as I'll get out, like, okay, you're being a dick.
Yep, and that's what I just wanted everybody to know with the history about how everything has been going.
So some of that, to add to some of that history, Peter's been writing articles for CBSI for 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 years,
5, 6 years, yeah.
Okay, 5 or 6, a very long time. So there's a lot of history there that people don't know and recognize, and they're I don't know about the back end dealings of how that show started to migrate or those conversations, but there's a lot of history there. That's what we're saying tonight, right?
Exactly. That's the important thing that is to get across, is the fact that we were all friends. Like, and for the longest time, a lot of us still we were still looking at each other as a friend. So a friend shouldn't, if I was going to, okay, let me put it this way. Me and Wood are friends.
Comics bro code.
Yeah. Me and Wood are friends. We've been friends for a long time. I look at Wood as my mentor in this, right? I've always have. And I'm over at Flipside while Wood's doing the FOC show, and Wood decides to not do the FOC show anymore. And I reach out to Bolo and go, hey, come over here, Bolo, to Flipside, and let's do the FOC show on the same night that Wood's doing the FOC show, and we'll make it look exactly the same. Because, like, Wood's gonna, no matter what, Wood's gonna be like, that's kind of fucked up, man. That's kind of fucked up. Yeah. Like, come up with your own idea. If, in my opinion, if Pete at Renovision would have reached out to me and Stein and would have been like, hey, I don't want, it sucks that all this is going on, but I've been given this opportunity to write the list. Do you guys care? No, do what you got to do, Pete. Go ahead and write it. If you want to write it, that's fine. Pete says, I also have the opportunity to do a show. Do you care if I do a show? Not at all. Just don't do it on the same night as ours or at the same time as ours, and don't make it look exactly the same as ours. Change it up.
And they did.
And then this would have never happened. You know what I mean? Because
just make it a different show. Who wants to copy someone else anyways?
Yes. And that's the other thing. Here's the other thing. Wood kind of brought it up. I get that it's just content, and content isn't, anybody can do any content. You're right, but there's consequences to your how people think of you if you're constantly stealing content ideas. And you can only be accused of stealing content so many times before people are going to stop sticking up for you. Like, and that's kind of my feeling on this. And because we care so much about this content, that's why I feel so much about it.
That's what I say. Like Bryan from Simple, like when I started watching you guys, there was like everyone else, and then there was like SimpleMan's, and I was like, I just liked, it was like real chill. It seemed like everyone else had so much stuff tied up together. There was a lot of it felt like there was a lot of high school type things going on, and I was like, well, like this show over here, and this one I didn't know anybody. I was really, but it just felt like here was like everyone was chill. It was kind of more focused on the actual comic and what was going on, like the love of your comics, love of the collecting and whatnot. Where the other one, it felt like a competition was going on. And it was like high school competition within each other.
Yes.
And it didn't feel like Bryan was any part of that, but it felt like other people were, and you could see like they're trying to one up each other. And I was like, it's just too much to do. Wow. I didn't want to. I left high school a long time ago. That's why I ended up like watching SimpleMan. Then I got to know the rest of the cast, and you start after you start to meet everyone and kind of get to know everyone, you start seeing who's cool to who's not. And when you're surrounded with if you're cool and you're surrounded with uncool people, you'll probably be uncool as well, because just like you go through association.
I don't want to see that. Shouldn't happen, especially in this hobby. Like that shouldn't happen ever. The uncool thing, like, and people should never feel uncool in this hobby, because and I hate the fact that ever happens. I don't want that to ever happen.
Yeah, it's just it's just the fact when you start kind of alienate yourself and you're trying to one up everyone, and you're like, well, then it's like a competition going on, but it's not really what comics is about. Comics is about like cool stories and artwork and like this kind of stuff. And I was like, what is this other stuff going on? If I want to watch football, I'll go to watch football, but I guess not the same realm.
Parker Lee, 100%, 100%, 1000%.
Where did
That's
you get a hand grenade?
Like. Yeah.
I'm with Three Rivers here really quick.
Bryan
kind of long into this. A little rivalry between shows makes great content. I think this is a perfect opportunity to do some volleying back and forth and have a little chummy rivalry. I mean, people might not agree with me on that, but I'm I'm a man that's gonna watch all of the content. I'm I'm gonna enjoy being a part of the community, and I'm gonna look for some of that rivalry. And
that would have been fine, but that all changed when I started getting people messaging me telling me that people from Rhynovision were sending them direct messages telling them how much of a bad person I was, telling them
That's ridiculous.
that I make up, that I buy views, that I manufacture views, that I can't afford my own home, so I live with my parents. Like what?
If you did, who cares?
That's not. First of all, it's not true. First of all, it's not true. But even if it was, I don't care. The other thing, that I steal money from old people, that I make money by stealing money for old people. Like, why is Rhynovision telling people this? That's the part that set me off. That's the only reason why. Yeah, that's the only reason why that I got so mad over this, because people started reaching out to me going, hey, who's this person? And it would be somebody from Rhynovision, and they would go, they sent me this, and it's this big, huge thing saying, I just wanted to let you know the type of person that Bryan McClay really is, and all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, what is going on here? This has gone way past friendly, chummy, one-upping each other. It's gone way past that at this point. So
pulling your wieners out at the Alana Club.
Well, I will say this: we in the community are not strangers to how people can change and turn and morph, because I remember very clearly days of my channel and Bryan's channel and a couple other channels getting bombarded and publicly attacked in the comments. Remember when YouTube used to do thumbs down to try to bump you out of the algorithm, all that other jazz? There's a group called Facts on Facebook that they would rally and attack YouTube channels because of disagreements. Very petty shit that was dumb. So I for one felt it on this channel, and my channel was bombarded with negative comments and thumbs down, and it's like, okay, I can brush that stuff off, but after a while it keeps going and it keeps going. It's like, this is just silly. Can everybody kind of grow up? And then it was even worse on Bryan's channel.
Yeah.
Like they were attacking Bryan's channel weekly on all the shows.
Why can't Doc Joe comment?
He's not subscribed.
Oh, is it just subscribers only that can comment?
Are you? Yeah. Well, I mean, that's it's set. Like, if anybody wants to comment, all they got to do is hit subscribe. And they can
just hit
comment
subscribe. Yeah. Joe, just hit subscribe. You should be subscribed to Andy already.
Oh,
brother.
That's what Joe said. I wish I could comment. Like,
yeah.
Should be commenting just fine.
Yeah, listen. That's another thing. YouTube can be doing some fucking weird shit. I remember for the longest time, somebody thought that they were blocked from talking in the chat on my channel because they couldn't. Every time they would put something, it would never come up, and it had to be YouTube, because I don't block anybody on my channel.
Well, I'll make sure Joe gets his $2 back for some reason not being able to comment. It's just one of the things I do, that the live streams we set to subscribers must be subscribed to comment, because it blocks the bots. The bots don't get to comment in the chat because
Joe's a bot.
the sex bots aren't going to be able to comment in the chat, because they're not going to be able to click and do the captcha thing and say that they're not a robot to become a subscriber. But Joe, message me on IG if you still get blocked for comments or something like that. I want to make sure you get your money back, number one, and two, I want to make sure that I'm looking into that and figuring it out.
I was waiting for Drew to show up and tell Wood that how shitty the Giants are, but Parker beat him to it.
Yeah, choke.
I haven't seen Drew in a hot minute. He's been super busy traveling.
Yeah, well, speaking of the Giants, are getting ready to have a 4-game series against the Diamondbacks, so their season is on the line in this next 4-game series. Did they play tonight?
I forget. I mean, they just dropped the series to the Rockies and shit. I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Way to finish the season.
Here's the biggest thing right here. Swagglehouse hit the nail on the head. Clout chasing, and I'm gonna stand on this hill, and I don't care if I get nasty messages about it. But one in particular, Sticky Goose Comics on YouTube, started as a small guy, back when Bryan and Bolo were doing shows and all this other stuff. He's the one that perpetuated the negative and false information from C2E2, said that people were hitting each other and pushing them around. And I'm standing in line, seeing it firsthand. It's like, this is not true. Stop. Like basically creating content based off of lies and clickbaits. He's clout chasing, and he still does that stuff on his channel and still gets people to watch that. And he's providing false and negative information to the community that's not good for the community.
Yeah.
Swaggle House hit the nail on the head. Clout chasing. Another great channel that everybody needs to follow is Swaggle House, because he's honorable, he's truthful. He does his content by the core like Bryan does. Bryan, what was your mantra all those years?
Buy what you like.
No, right, comic book content based on integrity.
Yeah.
Swaggle House has integrity. He's another one of the guys out there that has integrity, does a fantastic channel.
That one. Sorry.
I mean, I'll stand on. That's one of those things. Clout chasing pisses me off so much, because the idea of creating content isn't to chase clout. It's the lives, and thereby enriching yourself based on the other people around here. I'll get super passionate and stand on that horse all the time, because we see it a lot. Clickbaity content that does nothing for the viewer, provides them nothing. It's why I got rid of ads on this channel, because the ads didn't do anything for anybody watching, and it doesn't give any money back into the community of the channel, because my revenue per milli is like 3 cents.
Yeah.
So I earn like 10 cents a month to give back to the community. That's not really going to work.
Nobody makes money off of YouTube unless you got 50 million subscribers. And you're spending money to create this content. I mean, the software that you use, the technology, the computers, the cameras, the lights.
How many people are paying monthly fees for all that stuff? Yes. I still pay a yearly fee for the StreamYard Pro because I like the convenience of having it. And I'm not even a big YouTube channel, and I don't create enough content like I want to create, and I don't make enough time for it. And I'm not going full time like Swaggle House or like you or Tom or other people, but I do it because it's a hobby and it's fun, and because I feel like what I bring content wise to the community can be helpful, because I get something back from the community as well. So that's why I continue to do that stuff. You know, I'm small potatoes. You know how many people spend hundreds of dollars a month to create content on the regular and have subscription fees to pay for? A lot.
Yep. Yeah. It's a hobby. It's 100% a hobby for 90% of the people that do it. And it's fun because you get to hang out with your friends. And here's the other thing. You get to create something. There's something about creating something. It's like being in a band. It's like being on a sports team. You create this camaraderie with your peers, like Wood and Andy and Ryan and Swaggle House and anybody that creates content. It's this camaraderie, and there's something about that us as humans, we feed off of it. It's amazing.
It's the sole reason why I even started doing this, because I played for 20 years and I missed playing shows and collaborating with my bandmates and being able to like just kind of get together. You have your practice time, you get together, and you just get to just kind of see how it goes. And it was fun to banter back and forth, and you have something you stand up for, which is your guys, and you watch out for each other. I just like that. That's why I like being part of this. Is the sole reason.
Yeah, it's great for me. You're right, Parker. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I never wanted to tell Stein that I thought things were holding him back. I would never do that. But this is my cut with CBSI. It's I don't have to worry about it anymore, other than just to let people know that I think it's disrespectful and this is some snake mentality. But other than that, like this, you're right, Parker. This is a good thing. And next week this will be old news, and I won't be talking about it anymore. But because of everything that's kind of happened behind the scenes and the real, I haven't even told people the real bad disrespect that's happened behind the scenes, because it's not something that I think is worth it. But I think that letting people, me standing up for myself is what I will always stand up for myself, always. And if that's a problem, then oh well. I will always stand up for myself and for my friends, always. One of the things that I was taught early on is that that's what you do. That's a respectful person. You back the people that you love and respect, and that will back you. And that's a important thing that I've always been a part of my life. That and honesty. I'm honest to a fault. You know what I mean? Like I'm catching a lot of shit for talking about this stuff, and it's because I'm honest. It's very easy for me to let this stuff fly and to not have me remember stuff and this and that, because I'm not lying. You know, it is what it is. Can I explain CBSI? A guy makes money by getting a bunch of content creators he doesn't pay to write for him. I'm in the wrong line of work. Yeah. That's part of the problem, right? You know, tell somebody what they can and can't do with their content. Gain something off of their content. I mean, Stein would write the list, create the list, upload it to the webpage. Nobody did anything. I mean, nothing. Stein did it all. It's not like somebody at CBSI Stein was sending him the list and they were putting it up and making it all nice and pretty and putting links to this and that. Stein did all that for however many years. You know what I mean? That is the part of the thing, of the respect thing for me.
That's the thing too.
And to not contact him,
because he also had the power to go in there and do whatever he wanted to that website when he found out.
Yes. And he was like kind of a chill guy, and you know, they always wanted someone that's chill. They're like, oh, you're easy to friend to fuck with. You know, it's just like, God dang it, like, you know, just let people chill. People that are chill and just kind of laid back and don't worry about all the drama stuff. It's like they don't have. Like, well, why you want to mess with someone? Just let him. I mean, just like he never messed with anybody.
Like, a person that really held a grudge could probably go up there and upload top 10 receipts.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sure there's some.
But...
It's funny you mentioned that. One of my very first interactions with like John and Peter and the original Hangout guys that I got to know really well and became near and dear friends to me was I had a receipt for a comic book that I got for like $10. That was the big hype was, oh my God, it's selling on eBay for $100. So way back in the Hangout days, I posted it to the group. I immediately got banned for sharing a receipt because they said that's not good. You're not supposed to share receipts. Even after they changed the rule, like that day or the day before that says you could share this stuff now. I think it was John Z actually. If John Z, brother, if you ever watch this again, let's hit up the back alley. Let's go have a pint and talk about this because it was a hilarious, fun looking back at how John Z banned me back in the day. It was from
the Facebook group.
Yeah, it was one of the early when the group made the bridge from the Google Hangouts into Facebook. And it was a book from Europe that I got. It was like the last retailer that shared variants. I got one for like $10. Shared the receipt, got banned immediately. And it took me a week of asking around, and I think even Dino got involved, and it was hilarious. I'm like, what's going on?
You know, you had again another thing where somebody is doing the dirty work for somebody else. You know, it's like there's all these monitors and hall pass monitors in this big group. You know, it's like, come on now, but it is what it is, and like I think exactly, this too shall pass, and it's just me letting some steam out, letting some air out, and unfortunately, I picked a hobby where I am a public figure. I'm not saying I'm a big public figure, but a lot of my life is online for the world to share, and I like that. It keeps me honest. It keeps me on point. Yeah. So,
well, I will say this: there's no shortage of great comic book content creators out there. Bronze Age Nerd is one that comes to mind, who's doing his own little top 5 or top 5 don't buy these, and kind of finding his own niche and way of providing almost a different spin on the content. It's provided a little bit differently, where it's not a true top 10 list. You know what I mean?
Well, here's something that I will say, and I've said this multiple times in the past months. This is just my advice. If you're somebody who wants to become a comic book content creator, don't try and think of things that are different for content, for segment. Try not to do market reports. Try not to do top hot lists for hot books. You know, try to. I mean, I'm not saying you can't do those things. You know, try not to. you try not to go to Bleeding Cool or to First Comics News Beat or to CBR and just regurgitate the same stuff that everybody else is doing. Try to come up with something new. Every channel these days seems like they're doing the same thing, and that's okay to a point. But my suggestion is try to come up with different ideas. Try to be an innovator, like the FOC list was. Nobody was doing FOC at all. Nobody really even knew what FOC was until we started seeing the FOC show on SimpleMan's, right? That's being an innovator.
I was ruining the hobby.
Yeah, you were.
Man, that thing was awesome. That was a must watch every single.
Well,
every single week. That was a must watch. Like I had to watch that one because I was like, it helped me out with trying to find stuff, and I wasn't like, I'm a collector, so it was perfect for me because when you're not a speculator, you're kind of in a competition, if you will, to try to get the books you want for your collection for the speculators to get them, and so it helped out tremendously.
Yeah, I single-handedly ruined Something Is Killing the Children #1 because I talked about it.
I forgot all about that, man.
You jerk.
Yeah, that was a big
lose.
Big deal at the time, man. A big deal. And now everybody's talking about FOC.
No one's supposed to know about the last time you can order the books. You just show up at their at the store with it and hope they're there.
It's funny because there's this thing that happens in streaming and content creation. It's called the meta, and basically what it is, it's the thing that everybody is currently doing to either make money off of or make views on, whether it's hot lists, FOC shows, tier lists. Like for a long time, everybody was doing tier lists, right? Not just comic people. Every streamer, every person on Twitch was doing a tier list, right? And they would go to that tier web page and they would put tier list, right? That was a meta for a while. The hot tub streaming was a meta for a while. If you did anything with a hot tub, you were pulling in views. I mean, none of us, obviously. Nobody wants to see any of us in a hot tub.
My kid loves some AI presidents.
Oh my God, the artificial
AI presidents. Yep. Yes, the AI stuff right now is a meta. It's what everybody is doing in the content streaming creation world, that because they just can't come up with an idea on their own. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Sometimes you do that. And sometimes it helps to create ideas. Sometimes it gives you, hey, let's build on this. But don't always let it be your go-to. Don't always let it be your thing that you're just going to do what everybody else is doing, because then we're all just talking about the same shit. I can do a show and the same shit that I talk about, somebody else is going to talk about, and 4 other shows are going to do it. We're all talking about the same shit. We're all smelling our own farts. Unless we are more creative and coming up with better ideas, then the content's going to be garbage. It's going to be what everybody else is doing. I've seen this segment 5 days ago on another channel, that type of stuff. So, and we're all in that bed. We're all in that bed of, we don't want to look like we're biting off somebody else's content. And I don't want to do that.
I mean, yeah, the look side of thing is a big challenge right there, right? But I think if you take the same message, give it to 5 different people with 5 different sets of viewerships, you run into it's not necessarily what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. Certain people will climb onto this wagon or that wagon based on how the information is being delivered. That's why content creation is great, and that's why diversity and competition is phenomenal in the comic book community and in YouTube overall. Because if we provide, like, let's say we went and looked at every list that's being created and being delivered, if everybody truthfully derives those lists from sales data, then they're going to all be incredibly similar every week with some outliers.
Yep.
But then different people saying the things in a different way or different fashion just gives people options as far as doing the content. I can't watch all of them. I watch Lords of the Long Box every week. I watch you guys every week. I watch the Stein stuff every week on replay. And I go find all the Mighty Mel V stuff from back in the day and kind of compare some stuff. JP collects with his lookbacks. There's a lot of stuff that I make sure I pay attention to. But at some point, we all have limits as far as how much we can take in, right?
Yep.
So that just means diversity within the community is going to give other people options and they can get laser focused. The thing with content creations that we've always talked about is we need to remember to be truthful, honest, and maintain integrity so that we're not building a brand that's misguiding or missteering people, giving them bad information, and then having them look back and like, comic book collecting ruined me because this person told me 5 years ago I needed to buy 100 copies of Spider-Boy or something like that. I don't know.
Well, also, you know, you're saying
do
that
that.
comic book collecting ruined me thing really made me think of something. There's also, and somebody put in here that, you know, it's just there's no room for bullies, right? Because I don't want anybody to ever have the problem where they get bullied about liking something, and because they got bullied about it, they don't want to be part of this hobby anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? That bullies, there's no room to me. There's no room for bullies anywhere, right? Especially not in my circles. I don't want no bullies in my circles. You know, what is that? There's always been that saying, bully the bullies, because bullies are fucking toxic. They're not good. Other
Bullies
than
are
making people
bastards.
realize that how to stand up for themselves, there's no room for bullies.
Agreed. And Ryan Adams hits it right here. Be original. He says he just came up with that. I tout that. I try to remember to tout that at the end of every one of my shows. Most important part all day, every day is stay original and take care of each other. That's something I always try to remember to say at the end of every show. Because if we're not staying original, then we're not maintaining the diversity of thought or diversity in the content creation world aspect. And that's the best part about being a human being is everybody's different. So we all learn differently and we all take things. I'm beating around the bush now. Then we're going to end up like iRobot or something.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just being original. You got to be authentic too.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You go. And that's another thing, like, because this is another thing that we don't remember as content creators. Not only do people like the content that we put out, but they also like the personalities, right? I mean, you're not going to watch somebody that you wouldn't want to necessarily be friends with for the most part. I mean, you are going to watch some people because you just want to see what they do next, you know, that famous Howard Stern saying. But you're not going to continue to watch somebody that you don't necessarily like. I mean, if you do, that's just putting yourself in a
why
rough
I
spot.
watch Fox Sports instead of ESPN or vice versa. Or that's the same damn shit.
The Ocho.
Yep.
Sorry, Brian, you make me laugh about the Ocho.
I want to say this real quick about Swaggle House. Congratulations on that great interview the other day. If you guys haven't seen Swag's recent interview that he did with Sean Chen and a special guest, you need to go see it.
I'm grabbing the link right now.
It was very good. And and the fact that he pulled it off was pretty amazing, and it's a very, very excellent interview.
You know, Swaggle House is only 500 away from hitting 20,000 subscribers.
Wow. Nice. Wow. Great job, man. Killing it. Absolutely killing it. There's the link. You guys go check it out. Don't miss it. It's worth it.
And don't miss Mickey's new book.
Yes. So he sold out of that.
Sold out of cover C. He still has some cover A's left.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. Excellent shit. Support Mickey over at Swaggle House any way you can. Sub up. Buy a membership, whatever it takes. It's worth supporting his content. So I was long-winded tonight. I apologize. But
no, it's good to have Wood back to kind of hash out and bring up the history of, and I'll hit up the chat here in a minute, Dave Mears, kind of bring up the history of where a lot of this started, because it's pretty clear we lose sight over the years on how things started. This group of 4 people seen in front of you guys has a 3-4 year history. The show itself has about a 3-year history. The rest of us have known each other for 4 or 5 years, I think now.
Longer, man. 7-8 years.
Yep.
It's been a long time.
And here's I ain't known him that long. Fuck him.
Who?
Who?
Well, you ain't talking some smack over there.
He's talking to you and me.
You know what?
Good shit.
You know what happened last time someone says some shit like that to me? No one knows. Okay.
yet
Can't ask,
until you're about to
can't ask
blab
him.
it.
He ain't here no more.
Yeah.
I
You don't
remember
know,
when
now
this
you
show
know.
started. This show started. This show started. We had Tony Fix was with us. Dank was with us.
What's Dank up to? Has anybody talked to Dank lately?
Man,
I'm
Dank
gonna
was man.
I'm gonna try to message him tonight or tomorrow. But we had 6. This show ran with 6 for a good long while.
Tomberlin.
Yep.
Yeah.
The dude from the Charm show, what was it? Southern Charms.
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy.
Season 9 just kicked off, by the way.
Is he still bartending in it or doing something? The grass raker, like raking grass or some shit in there.
But he's a Clemson fan, and I hope they lose this weekend, bastards.
Oh boy, this is a really good opportunity as we segue out of this to again bring up the main focus, and the main topic tonight was about the community banding together. Again, here we are talking about the community and why the community is important. Talking about the community banding together in under 30 hours to raise over $10,000 for Comics Will Break Your Heart. Jennifer, recently diagnosed with cancer, and her very good friends, put together the GoFundMe. The link is about to be dropped in the chat. Again, it's posted at the top where you guys can find it nice and easy. But for all the other platforms watching on this on Facebook and Twitch and everywhere else where this StreamYard is streaming to, there's the link for everybody. Please, at a minimum, grab that link, look at it, and share it, and read Jen's story there. And if you can donate. $5,
Hey, wait,
$10, $20. Every little bit helps. And kind of read Jen's story and find out where she's at. And this was a recent bit of news that she shared with the community, and her road may be difficult going forward, but her road going forward is going to be lined with comrades, peers, family, friends, and more importantly, just as important, not more importantly, I misspeak there, but just as importantly is the comic book community banding together to help support her during her time of need. Because I know if something were ever to happen to me and somebody did this to me, the community would band behind myself. This is why every time this stuff comes up with a comic book community member, I'm going to donate. I'm going to donate every time. I'm going to sell a book, trade a book, or whatever, and donate something to a cause to help support somebody that's been creating content and helping to build the comic book community for years. Don't forget to subscribe to Jen at Comics Will Break Your Heart on Instagram and her YouTube channel, and check out all of her content there, and stay in touch with everybody.
And anyway, I tell you what, they'll be playing each other soon, and we will see who will be booing who. Boo. My buddy's a big Buccaneers fan.
You want to talk about rivalry and competition, then nothing's greater than the football season between friends.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Dank always has a unique perspective, which I appreciated, and I appreciated that very much as well, because I felt like I learned a lot from him over the years.
Dank is a good dude. I like Dank a lot. I hope that he's doing well. I would love to find out what's going on with him and try and see if we can get him to jump back on, hang out with us.
Christmas reunion.
Yeah, amen. That's what we need to do. You're right.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, we can all get dressed up and like we did, and share a frosty beverage or a warm beverage.
Sup, Mountain Peak, you just missed the big main topic, which we'll clip out and we'll re-upload for content later on this week, so you guys can see you guys can watch the meat and potatoes without having to watch the entire episode. But we've got a little bit of time left. Do you guys want to hit up New Comic Book Day really quick? I got the wife giving me the 15-minute mark here.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's run through this very quickly. There's a lot of stuff coming out this week.
It's a Rhynoverse is what I'm checking out. Go ahead and run and say that now.
Parker died in Baltimore. We all died in Baltimore.
I'm never drinking another Washington apple.
Catwoman number 57 has a ton of great covers. There's Nakayama. This is the Terso Cons cardstock variant. This is a beautiful Sway variant. This is amazing. Absolutely beautiful Sway variant right here. There's a Quesada connecting cover variant. This is the Rian Gonzalez 1 in 25. And there's the 1 in 50 Quesada, but some good variants on that. Death of Venomverse.
Yeah, there's some cool covers on this thing this week.
Yeah.
There's
the Bjorn Barons or whatever.
Yeah, Barons is amazing. This
I
one's the
like.
Kirkham. Ooh, that's a 1 in 50 right here.
That looks like a Chimera shirt, but there is one Saturday morning cartoon. This is pretty cool.
Look at that one. Derek Chew. Holy cow. Where's the set? Oh, there's a Saturday morning cartoon. Yeah, the one with Null. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's
Yeah,
got Red Goblin in there too.
Yeah.
And Scream. Yeah.
I like this one right here. The design variant.
Mm-hmm.
The Croco one. And then, of course, the Stegment, where there's going to be a 1 in 25 second print for, of course.
That design variant's got the anime look that was it the 125 or 150 that popped off that's doing really well.
Yeah. Yep. This is Dark X-Men. Beautiful, beautiful Villalobos variant. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. Love the little minions around her. This is a 1 in 25. This is going to be on all the hot lists. I guarantee it. And then the 1 in 50 Ji Hung Lee will also be on all the hot lists. There's something that is off about it, but there's something that's really on about it. Like, this is one of those covers where I can't tell if it's her arm looking like it's backwards or if it's just the thinness of her. This is just
the leanness.
Yeah.
Lean along.
Jesus. There's 2 versions of that, and this is the LaRocco variant. And then there's a Nathan Zerdy variant. So a lot of good books coming out this week cover-wise. Black and Harley, black, white, and redder. Got the Andolfo variant. And then this right here, the Sanford Green 1 in 25.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, Sanford Green's awesome. What else do we got? Rare Flavors is coming out, #1. A lot of people, that's like the book to read to pick up this week. Predator vs. Wolverine is kind of interesting. There's some really interesting covers for this. Let me show you these.
Holy moly.
Yeah, Alex Maleev. This is the Inhuck Lee 1 in 50. And this is beautiful, Bjorn Barons. Barons is so good. This is the Tyler Kirkham.
They're killing it. They're absolutely ruining the cover with that trade, not the trade dress, but the 20th Century Studios.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the Momo. That's terrible. Ugh. But there's a lot of covers. Scotty Young.
Scotty.
Yeah. So a lot of good covers for that one. Red Sonja, Dynamite, constantly putting out good stuff. Look at this.
Wow.
Jesus, yeah. There's a ton of covers though.
I've always been a sucker.
Go back on like my comic shop and find those old Red Sonja, just the covers that you liked, like the old Prios and
Frizzens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man,
I've always been
look at this Frizzen one right here.
That's
This is
Frizzen.
the 1 in 10 Frizzen, modern icon. This
I've
is
always been
the Middleton Bloody, the 1 in 10. This one's gonna pop off big time.
I've always been a sucker for Red Sonja books. I just never allow myself to buy them because it would be a slippery slope and I would be broke every week or every month.
Yeah, especially with Dynamite, man. You think Marvel puts out some covers? Dynamite. They put out like a 1 in 7.5 variant.
Oh man, so good. Rivers of London, Ronin, book 2, #4, Saga, #66 coming out.
Yep. I'm gonna be reading it, but I'm getting a little perturbed with the increased delays again. Like, there was a very clear communication from Brian K. Vaughan that they had a path, they knew what they wanted to do, and it was going to be Saga chugging along every month going forward. And now we're on the second, there's a 6-month break and then a 3-month break, and now here we are again.
That's
back.
Like Black Mass Studios almost.
Yeah. Yep. Sirens in the City, #3. Something is Killing the Children is coming out, #33. Here you go. Let's run through the variants. This is the Christian Ward 1 in 25. That is the 1 in 50. This is To Be Determined. I don't know. FOC reveal. I don't know. This is FOC reveal. Spot UV. This looks This looks very interesting to me because you're going to hit it with UV and something's going to pop up, you know? So there's the Ivan Tao. So something is killing the children for all the fans of that.
I got some magazines you can hit with UV and see what pops up.
God.
At your house.
There's a Cygor Bjorn Barons cover. Cygor is such a cool
He's
character.
just cool.
Look
I
at
literally
that.
do that. He's one of my favorite artists for sure. He's just
Yeah.
always so cool.
That's Spawn 345. Star Wars Dark Droids.
It's
Great,
been
great
really,
story.
really fun. This has been a really fun read. Oh my God, finally Chopper on a cover. Look, we finally got Chopper on a cover.
Yep.
I got to
really
bounce,
digging-
guys.
Later,
All right,
Ryan.
I hit my time. See y'all next week. I had fun, great conversation, and I'm glad that I get to hang out with you guys on a weekly basis, along with everyone in the chat. And
Hell yeah,
AOA,
brother.
the Falcons will be whooping that Buccaneers tail when it comes around here soon. See y'all next week.
Hey, bro. This is gorgeous right here.
I've been having a lot of fun with this read. I think I finally, I was so burnt out with Marvel doing events and tie-overs or crossovers that this one they kind of snuck right in, and this is an event, I guess. I don't even know if it's
100%. Yeah, definitely an
But-
event.
This has been fun. This has been a really fun read, in my opinion, as a Star Wars fan.
I agree, and I love the Casanovas connecting covers. They're so good. I'd like that to get a poster of that. Bounty Hunters is coming out. General Grievous is coming back, so a lot of people are stoked with that. This is a great 1 in 25 Bjorn Barons Grievous cover,
and that one is I'm excited. I'm getting that one for ratio.
Yeah, and then this is the Casanovas connecting variant for that. The Gist Cad Bane is going to be a huge book.
Please tell me that's on my list.
So be on the lookout.
That's cover price. That Cad Bane is cover price too tomorrow.
Yes. Yep. Strange Academy. Moon Knight's jumping into Strange Academy. I love Strange Academy. It'll be interesting to see how they play this because they're getting ready to kill Moon Knight. He's getting ready to die and become the form of vengeance.
Parker Lee always slinging the heat. Rhino just got
messaged from one of the guys on the channel. It's just funny.
Superman. I don't know if there's anything good with Super. Well, that's not bad. That Lee Bermejo.
Ooh,
yeah, it's interesting. Thiago Silva. There's the Chibi Rose Besh. I don't like him that much, but you got a blank card stock. This is cool right here. This is going to be an acetate cover. So it's gonna. There's the 1 in 25, 1 in 50. So DC has been doing amazing with their covers lately. Just a really good job. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 143. That's a killer cover, Michelangelo cover. Awesome. Just a regular cover. And then this is the 1 in 10, I think, that they haven't shown yet. This is the Eastman variant. Yeah. This isn't a bad Eastman variant either.
No, not at all.
It's actually pretty good. And then the old school 1 in 10 style. 1 in 25, and then the 1 in 50 Eastman. So
what's going? Is there something big going on in that? Or is IDW doing higher ratio variants more often?
I think they're doing a higher ratio variants more often. Yeah. Uncanny Avengers #2. Let's see if there's anything here. There's a lot of variants for it. That's an interesting one right there by Stegman. 1 in 25. This is the 1 in 50 Greg Land, black and white. And then Garon, Marvel Icon variant. Brian Hitch, 60th variant. And this is the Greg Land. Psylocke. It's okay. Nothing great. Uncanny Spider-Man. This is interesting. If Spider-Man, the mix of Spider-Man and Nightcrawler, actually looks kind of cool. That's a 1 in 100 Lee Garbett. I'd be surprised if shops ordered 100 of these.
Right.
Yeah. 1 in 25. De La Rosa. Scotty Young. That's cool. And then the window shades that they're still doing. So for all you Spider-Man fans. Victory number 4, Walking Dead Deluxe. What If Dark Carnage? These dark things are kind of interesting. Some good covers there. You got some homages and stuff like that if you're a Carnage fan. And Wolverine 37 and Wonder Woman are about the only thing left. This is an interesting cover. You get all the different Logans fighting
Oh, I
Hulk
didn't even
again.
look down there. Nice.
Yeah. 1 in 25 second printing. This is the Sway 1 in 25. That's a great cover by Sway. And then the second printing again. This is the Capullo. It's cool that we're getting Capullo now on Marvel, which is awesome. This is the Nakayama Hellfire.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. 60th anniversary, Kale New. So
That looked like Jusco almost.
yeah.
I
And
will
then-
I will agree with Volsi here. Volsi as you get into the DC stuff.
What that? Oh yeah, I
DC
agree.
covers look
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Look at this Ariel Diaz right
Wow.
here. Holy cow. So, and then the big time collectibles, of course, they're gonna ride that train. Stanley Art Germ Lau. That's good. It's a great art germ. And then this is a Tedesco that's very, very cool, man.
I wonder what was going on in his head that he picked a kangaroo for her to ride. Is there something substance there? Maybe I don't know.
There's gotta be.
It looks like face of Lucille Ball.
Yeah.
I like
Pacholo, this is a foil. Look how great this is. This is gonna
I
be a
love that.
foil. Yeah. And then this is the 1 in 25 Scalera. That's a great cover.
Who's
1 in
writing
50.
that Wonder Woman?
Let's see here. Tom King.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then finally, X-Men Annual #1. You got some just a couple covers. So 60th anniversary variant. But be on the lookout for those. So big week this week. A lot of these books we're gonna see. A lot of these variants are everybody's gonna be talking about. So try not to spend too much this week at the shop.
I just cringed as I looked at my pull list, and that thing's topping out like 120, 130 bucks already.
Is it really?
Yeah, and I've been so good all summer long, keeping to 50 bucks or under a week, and now all of a sudden, Something's Killing the Children hits, then the 2 Star Wars titles hit, and then a bunch of indie stuff hits, and I'm like, ooh, that got expensive fast.
Yeah. Yep, that's how it works, man. That's exactly how it works. It gets expensive fast. Sometimes you go in to pick up your pull list, and there's quite a few books on it. But also, the Nick Cage book is coming out this week. The Dan Mora variant that has Nick Cage on it. So,
True.
Batman, Superman's the world's finest. So,
But
good stuff.
Wood, what's that going to leave us with?
One more thing. I've been gone so long, I almost forgot.
You can see the gears turning for a second.
What am I missing? And I was like,
Ah.
the boogity bow.
There it is.
But
one more thing. Of course, just like every week, tomorrow night we'll be doing our Wednesday night show on Beyond Wednesdays. Thursday night podcast. Friday night House of Stein original Hot 10. Saturday night Beyond Wednesdays. And I just shot a new industry show last night with Billy Tucci, Brian Polito, and Jesse James Comics. That was absolutely amazing. I'm currently editing it, and that should be out next Monday.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah.
my one more thing is thanks for having me back on. I appreciate it. Apologize for the in and out. Now I know where Tony Fix was coming from with all his soccer practices and family things. But I do want to say thanks for having me on. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Always great to see Parker, of course. Even met some new faces in there, and Great conversation. We ran a little long tonight, but that's always
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
The community. I've always enjoyed the community more than I've enjoyed the hobby. So kudos to everyone in that, and look forward to the next time I can spend some time with you guys.
Hell yeah.
And go Florida State, beat Clemson.
For sure. My one more thing this week, again, it's going to be my one more thing every week going forward until October's over with. But October 20th to the 22nd is the Comics Curing Cancer event. It's a 3-day event here on YouTube, spread across multiple channels, resulting or culminating in a massive comic book auction where comic books and slabs and anything comic book original art pieces. I think they McClay, they got pieces from Scotty Young.
Oh, wow.
There's some Scotty Young art. Let me rephrase that. I think it's prints, but still they're limited prints from Scotty Young to go in that auction. So Comics Curing Cancer reached a goal. They hit and they broke through their goal last year and not saved up, but they collected $22,000 and they're looking to blow that out of the water this year. And the best part is it is all supported by the American Cancer Society. All funding for the auction and anything being donated goes directly to the American Cancer Society for that fundraiser, the Comics Curing Cancer fundraiser. Those links will be in the content all down below. You can find them on social media anywhere from Legion of Comics, Frob's Fat Stack of Comics, and DJ Links. That event is the 20th to the 22nd. And if you want to donate something, there are ways to do that. Hit me up or hit up any of those guys. We'll let you know where to send this stuff so it can be ready for the auction next month, which leads us into the link that I'm about to drop in here for hashtag KeepJenReading. The GoFundMe for Jen is actually crested over 11,000 tonight just during this live show. Awesome work from everybody. And here is that link one more time for anybody that's just hopping in and just seeing this all across the platforms, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook. There it is for anybody that's watching live on those platforms. Click that link, share it out, read her story, then share her story. And then anybody that can donate, please donate. Every little bit helps. And you can see the community banding together and we'll reach that goal in no time. That is my one more thing. And it'll be my one more thing for quite some time going forward.
Oh, yeah. Before we leave, I want to shout out to Mrs. Wood and tell her thanks for letting Bryan come hang out with us tonight. And next time I see you guys at a con, I owe you guys dinner.
No problem. I think she even stayed in for a little while tonight. And tomorrow is her early day in the office, so she'll be hurting tomorrow morning for sure.
Oh. I'm going to be hurting for sure. The wife and I are about to go sit down and watch Ahsoka, episode 6. And
what's that about?
No, what's that about? Oh, you've been gone too long. We're going to go watch.
Have soda?
We're going to go watch Ahsoka. And you guys know
I'm
what that
doing
means.
the same thing.
Yeah.
We're going to go peace out. We're going to go piggies out. We're going to catch you on the flip side for the next one. Remember the most important part all day, every day. Stay original.
Yeah.
Be authentic. And take care of each other. That's how we're going to roll with it. Have a good night, everybody.
Double up. The money I color. Excuse me while I change. The roller buggy has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.